You know that feeling, right? You're talking to someone, sharing something, maybe an idea, maybe just a story, and you get to the end of your thought, you look at them expecting something. A nod, a word, anything to keep the conversation going, and you get nothing. Just silence. And in that quiet, this strange feeling starts to creep in. Just like that. The whole back and forth, that energy between you, it just halts, and the air gets thick. In fact, the feeling gets louder, doesn't it? That space that was just filled with words is now filled with something else, a kind of pressure, a tension you can't quite put your finger on. It's a question that really gets to the heart of how we connect with each other and how we feel safe. This isn't just about someone being quiet. It's a deeply human experience. And the answer? Well, it starts inside our own minds. So what's really going on here? Well, this discomfort, it isn't just social awkwardness. It's actually rooted in some pretty deep-seated psychology. You see, our brains are ancient machines, and they're wired to look for very specific things to feel secure. See, your brain's #1 job, above all else, is to keep you safe. And its favorite tool for doing that is prediction. It's constantly asking, what's about to happen? Am I okay? Psychological ambiguity is what happens when your brain just can't get the data it needs to answer those questions. And it happens in a flash. First, you get no reaction. No nod, no nothing. So your brain, which is this amazing pattern-seeking machine, kicks into overdrive trying to find some kind of pattern. But when it comes up empty, it can't predict what the other person's going to do next. And for a brain that's built for survival, not being able to predict something, well, that gets flagged as a potential threat. It's like a silent alarm going off that you're not even aware of. So here's the bottom line. We are wired to be social. That silence can feel like a vacuum because, neurologically speaking, it is one. We are constantly scanning for feedback that tells us, hey, we're okay, we're connected, everything's cool. And this is where you can really see the difference. It's not about one way being better than the other. Talkative people, they tend to offer a steady stream of data of reassurance. Silent people, just by being quiet, don't offer that data. And that creates uncertainty for the person they're with. One isn't an attack, and the other isn't a gift. They're just two completely different ways of existing in a conversation.
Okay, but here's where it gets even more fascinating. We don't just sit there in that uncomfortable uncertainty. Oh no, our minds rush in to fill that quiet void. And what we choose to fill it with? Well, that says a lot more about us than it does about them.
It's a thing called projection. It's one of the mind's most powerful and kind of sneaky defense mechanisms. When we're faced with a blank slate, like a quiet person, we have a tendency to paint our own internal world all over it.
So, what do we usually paint? Our fears, mostly. We assume their silence means they disapprove of what we said. We read it as judgment on who we are. We might see it as arrogance, or that they're just not interested. Or, if we're feeling really vulnerable, it can even feel like hostility. But we have to remember, these are our stories. They're not necessarily the truth.
Let's just sit with that for a second. Their silence becomes a screen for your own insecurities. The quiet person isn't actually doing anything to you. They're just holding up a blank canvas, and you're the one holding the paintbrush. So if it's not some kind of hidden attack, then what is it? Let's bring this all home and try to reframe this whole experience. Because the discomfort, it turns out, isn't really about them at all. It's about us. This is really the heart of it. That unsettling feeling isn't caused by the presence of a threat. It's caused by the absence of something we deeply crave, reassurance, that simple social cue that just says, I hear you, we're on the same page. And this is maybe the most helpful part of understanding all this. When you feel that discomfort bubbling up because someone is being quiet, it's actually a really powerful signal. It's a moment for a little self-reflection. You're not really learning about them in that moment. You're learning about your own need to be seen, to be heard, and to be validated. So the next time you find yourself in that silent space and you feel that old familiar anxiety start to rise, just remember this. The deepest unease we feel doesn't usually come from a danger we can see. It comes from one we can't. The perceived threat isn't in the person, it's in the ambiguity. It's that primal human fear of the unreadable, that quiet void we are so desperate to fill ourselves.